Once upon a time, there was a fisherman named Bilal who lived with his wife and children in a small house near the Nile River. This fisherman was poor, and he used to go to the river every day to catch fish, then sell it in the market, and buy food for his wife and children with the money. And one day Bilal woke up and found his children crying so much. He asked his wife, "Why are they crying?" The wife said, "They are crying from hunger, because they did not eat a single bite yesterday." Bilal said, "I will now get up and trust in God and go catch fish and then sell it and buy you food." Bilal brought the fishing net and went to the river and said, "In the name of God," then he threw the net into the water. After a short while, he took out the net and found a big fish in it. Bilal was happy with this big fish and went to the market and sold it as soon as possible and bought beautiful food and went home in a hurry to feed his wife and children. And while he was walking down the road, he found an old woman weeping bitterly. Bilal asked her, "Why are you crying, mother?" She said, "I am crying from hunger because for 2 days I and my children have not eaten a single bite, and I do not have money to buy food for my children." Bilal was affected and said to himself, "My wife and children are crying because of hunger, and this woman and her children are also crying because of hunger, so what should I do?" And Bilal decided to give all the food to this woman and her children to eat, and he had certainty that God would compensate him with something better than that. The woman took the food while she was at the height of joy and happiness, and began praying for him, and Bilal left while he was thinking, "What am I going to tell my wife and children?" Suddenly, Bilal heard a voice calling him, "O Bilal! O Bilal!" Bilal looked behind him and found a man calling for him, so he said to the man, "What do you want?" The man said to him, "O Bilal, I borrowed 5,000 dirhams from your father 10 years ago. Then I traveled and traded with this money, and I won a lot, and when I returned from my travels after all these years, I searched a lot for your father, and I knew that he had died. Here is all the money in your hands, and I hope that you will forgive me for my delay in paying this debt." Bilal took this wealth and he does not believe himself. So he went and bought delicious food for his children and returned to them to feed them. Then he traded with this money and became rich and built a beautiful house. After that, he would never forget the poor, needy, and orphans.